just because you could throw 5 things on top of a piece of dough doesn't necessarily make you a chef.
What are some things you teach? Like, what do people commonly mess up when they're making pizza? What do you think about deep dish since we're in Chicago? That style. Did you ever make it or teach it? Hey everyone, welcome back to Hardcore Italians. I'm here with Chef Anthony Iannone from the Culinary Pizza Academy in Lisle, Illinois. Anthony, how are you? Thanks for coming by.
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Michael. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Good.
No problem. All right, so for those who don't know you in the academy, could you give me a little bit of a background of both?
Yeah, so I'll give a little background on myself. I'm born and raised in New York. I was born in the Bronx, grew up in Queens, grew up in a restaurant business. My father had a restaurant on Long Island, so that was really what I knew. I wound up going to culinary school. My dad sold his restaurant, and it was like, all right, restaurant business, cooking, food, whatever. So went through culinary school, graduated, went to Manhattan, started working in Manhattan for a restaurant group based out of Milan, Italy. And then I started traveling around the country with them at a young age. I mean, I was fortunate and not fortunate. I worked like a dog, but it was great. So then worked all over Chicago, Cleveland, Miami, Los Angeles. Then settled back in New York in like 99 or 98. And then one day, my father, when he sold his restaurant, he bought a Borsa distribution. Mm-hmm. So I was helping him on his truck one day. He needed a hand. We were in Brooklyn, and I was like, hey, heard you guys are ready to go to Chicago with the product. And 9 months later, I was packing up. I was getting out of the restaurant business and got into distribution.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, went from, getting products in to dropping products off. So, but it was great because it was a different, side of the business. So, still in the food business. So, ran that for 17 years. Sold it 7 years ago. And was up in the air of what's the next step in life.
What's next? Yeah.
And talked with some guys in Italy, and they were like, hey, we want to expand the Scuola Italiana Pizzaioli, which is the School of Italian Pizza. It's the oldest and only accredited pizza school in the world.
Wow.
So took my building out here in Lisle, Illinois, and transformed it to really one of the greatest pizza schools in the country, if not the world.
Oh my God, yeah. I know. That's why those couple events we did, we so look forward to it. It's the pizza's insane, and you guys like all the different toppings and stuff like that. It's crazy. I don't know how you come up with all the different types of pizzas because you have every different style, everything. I mean, it's insane.
We'll do every style. So we're based on Scuola Italiana Pizzaioli and Italian styles of pizza. Yeah, that's really our back. But then we'll also consult on every American style. Yeah. So we'll do New York, Chicago, Detroit, whatever it may be. We'll do every style of pizza. We do a lot of recipe development. We'll have a lot of people call, hey, I saw this, kind of dough from, Uruguay. Can you help us, do it? So it's really what we do. We try to be be the innovation center of pizza.
So you guys do consulting. Don't you sell like the brick ovens too? You do classes. I feel like you do a lot out of the academy.
The North American Pizza and Culinary Academy will confuse you, but it's really made up of 5 businesses. Okay. So we do the pizza school, and we train and certify pizzaioli on Italian pizza. Then we'll train on American styles. Then we do consulting. So we'll do one-on-one. Yeah. So if you're opening up a restaurant and you want to do one-on-one consulting, we'll do that.
Yeah, and you do that like across the nation, right?
We'll do that across the nation. We've had people from all over the country, Canada, Mexico, Colombia come in for training, or we'll travel. If somebody can't leave their operation and wants us to go, I'll get on the road and go.
That's awesome.
It's a great business, and then we sell all the ovens, residential, commercial, mixers. Then I have a full production kitchen, so we do a lot of R&D work. A lot of recipe development. We'll even test some new products coming out for companies to see how they'll work on different pizzas, different temperatures, and all that. Yeah, then we do residential classes from cooking to pizza.
What are some things you teach? Like, what do people commonly mess up when they're making pizza?
So when it comes to dough making, probably the biggest thing, and this is where when we do pizza classes, everybody mixes by hand. And it's really so people understand the process. Even we'll do it with professionals because we want them to understand the process. So what we see a lot of times with people is they'll either mix ingredients too fast, and they could have a bad recipe. There is such thing. But what a lot of people do, like they could mix it too fast, and then the flour doesn't absorb all the water. So then what they'll do is add more water or more flour, and then it'll get too dry, and then they add more water. So now they just took their whole recipe and changed the whole recipe. So there's a process to it, but there's also using the right flour for the right recipe. So now the Academy's 6 years open.
Okay, 6 years open. Okay, I just want to let people know too, like where to go if they want to find you there. If I don't know, I feel like you could travel to people. They can come to you. Like I know it's not limited to just Chicago, so that's why I wanted to kind of mention all that.
Yeah, no, we're national. I mean, we'll go all over the place.
Yeah, and so tell me about the relationship too with Italy.
Yeah, so Scuola Italiana Pizzaioli is the school.
Okay.
So that's who is what I should say is a part of us. More than us being a part of, which, whatever, it's a great relationship.
How long's that been around?
Scuola Italiana Pizzaioli started in 1988.
Okay, wow.
As a teaching school of pizza. I mean, there's always been people consulting and working with, but the book, our certification class is more in depth than any other training. And we do a 5-day certification.
Okay.
And it's been nice. We've had people come in that have gone to other facilities and then come to us, and they're basically hands down, nobody teaches the way you guys teach.
Yeah.
My guy, Danny Chuba, who's our master instructor, between myself working with him having experience in the business, and then sending him to Italy to become a master instructor is great. Actually, in a couple of weeks, he'll be going back to Italy to work with a couple of other, I guess we could call master instructors that specialize in a certain style of pizza and bread and dough making. Spent 2 weeks. Lucky him. I'm staying home. But he's going to go spend 2 weeks with 4 different masters from north to south, and really get to see what they do on their specialty.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't really hear about it until you, and I feel like there's this I feel like it's a tight knit thing of, I don't know, it's like a legit process of certifications, and it seems rigorous and things like that. Like, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, it's intense, and we not that we try to scare anybody out, but we want them to understand they're coming to get an education, and they're going to truly get an education.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the basic class, and which is the foundation, and then we'll do advanced classes only to people who have come through our basic class.
Yeah.
That are certified pizzaioli.
Okay. Is there a right way to do it versus, like, you know what I mean? Is there a favorite type you have, or is there a certain type that's not as legit as another one?
Italian pizza, or you talking any pizza?
Any pizza. I'm
still a New York slice guy.
Yeah.
I still love my New York pie that I make, and maybe it's because it's what I grew up with. But I'll still go back to it. But I think there's something special with every style of pizza. True Neapolitan, I have a great appreciation for, but like for most people, it's very soft, very wet.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than what most people think. Then we go pizza classica, which is a wood-fired or stone-fired pizza.
Yeah.
That's cooked a little bit lower temperature, a little bit longer, so you get a little more crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Special though, as far as Italian pizzas, is a good Roman-style pizza.
Yeah.
Once you get a good Roman style, and we love now training people on Roman.
Yeah.
It is a process though. So a lot of people will come in and say, I wanna open up a Roman style pizzeria, and then when they see the process and the handling, maybe I'll do something different.
Wow, really? It's that intense? Why? What's
it's just the handling. It's a very high hydration dough. It's a long fermentation. So if you're gonna do it true, you're looking at a 72-hour to 96-hour fermentation, cold ferment.
Okay.
So what that means is operators have to have enough refrigeration space to hold that much, because you have day 1, day 2, day 3. That's going to be in. You're going to have basically 3 days of dough in your cooler, fermenting. By the time you're taking out one, you're putting in the next one.
Yeah.
So a lot of people realize I don't have the refrigerator space. And you don't have the space.
You can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Okay. What do you think about deep dish, since we're in Chicago? That style. Do you ever make it or teach it? Or?
Yeah, we do. We teach a lot of deep dish, a lot of tavern. I don't mind deep dish. Some of them are a little too heavy. but deep dish I enjoy. Stuffed pizza, which a lot of people don't realize there's a difference between deep dish and stuffed. Where stuffed you got another crust on top, a lot of cheese. I can appreciate it, but
Yeah.
like Chicagoans, you never really get it unless somebody comes in from out of town.
Yeah.
It's the only time. Like,
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
Chicago stuffed pizza. I'm like, okay, and then they're like, what? I'm like, well, nobody out here eats it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you compare it to tavern thin crust,
Yeah.
nobody, it's
Oh, 100%.
It's not a. I mean, the first time I ordered it from one of the pizzerias when I was living downtown, I called up, and I always tell people the story was, I ordered a stuffed pizza. I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna order, and on the phone the girl was like, okay, it's gonna be an hour and 45 minutes, and I was on the phone and I was like, I said, I just all I want is one pizza, and she was like, yeah, it's an hour and 45. And I was so lost. I was like, okay, and I hung up. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, did I just order a pizza that's going to take an hour and 45?
Why does it
After
take so
40
long?
It was a Friday night. It was busy.
Yeah.
And it was like I called in the middle of rush or whatever, dinner time.
Yeah, but like just deep dish in general and stuff. Why does it take way longer?
Because it's baked like a cake, basically. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so heavy, so much cheese.
Wow.
The dough, is when you sheet dough out here like you do, it compresses it. So you need to make sure that you're cooking it fully through.
Yeah.
And there's only so much oven space in a pizzeria.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a busy time, your pizza might not go into the oven until a half hour, 45 minutes after you ordered it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So that's where a lot of that time takes. But I wound up anyway that night making something else for dinner, and then by the time the pizza came, I just put it in the refrigerator and had it for another night.
You didn't even cancel. You just kept.
No, because at the 45-minute mark, I was like, I'm canceling this, and then I'm like, I'm already 45 minutes into it. I'm not going to cancel it.
Yeah, true. They already have it in there.
Just as a restaurateur, I was like,
Yeah.
I can't do it, at that time. So whatever. So it wound up, being the next night's dinner.
Yeah, that's funny. But I mean, I would summarize it the same way. Like, I only get it if someone's out of town and they don't ever have it and they want, like, they're asking for it. It's like, sure, we'll go. Maybe
Yeah.
like every few months or something like that. But does it depend on your location, what type of pizza you should be making, or what's the deal with the water, using different types of water with pizza and things like that?
So in different parts of the country, they have different filtration in the way they produce it. We could go back to New York and say New York's water is the perfect water for dough making.
Okay.
Because it's a very mineral-rich water. When it comes down from the Catskill Mountains, it just picks up a lot of minerals. It's good. Chicago's water is good. Most northern states, the water is definitely better than the South. So yeah, we have a system, filtration system in the school called the New York Water Maker, but they can mimic water of anywhere. Like we said before, we do consulting for people from Nevada to Louisiana and Florida. Water's horrible. They
Yeah.
need a filtration system.
Okay.
So we have the water coming basically through in our dough room that they can have in their kitchen.
Okay.
And then it's nice because they can also filter it into their soda machines.
Really?
They don't have to just use it for dough making.
Yeah.
Like they can use that water, and then you'll have, because I don't know if you ever been to Florida and drank a soda out of a tap. It's
Yeah,
as
it's
horrible as drinking a water out of a tap. So
Okay.
So the filtration system for me is definitely important. And then we have at the school a temperature and humidity controlled dough room.
Yeah.
And that's also to mimic mostly kitchen south, where it's very hot, very humid, right? Nobody has a temperature controlled dough room, but they might be mixing dough in a 95-degree kitchen.
Okay.
And it'll play havoc, especially when you're doing a cold ferment dough, which most pizzas are. If you don't adjust your temperature, then you're going to have issues with your dough. So
Yeah.
we can make our dough room very hot and humid and mix dough in there and make them understand what needs to be done, because even though your kitchen is 95 degrees, your flour could also be sitting in that kitchen
Yeah.
at 95 degrees.
Okay.
It's why you go to a lot of places and people are like, oh, the pizza's horrible here. It's not so much because they're recipes, it's because the products that they're using, which, could be water. If somebody's doing a dough of 65% hydration. 65% of that dough is water. If you're putting horrible water in, you're going to get a horrible product.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. And what do you think too about just the debate, pineapple on pizza and all these different toppings on pizza?
So to each his own. As a chef, is it my favorite thing? No.
Yeah.
But like we say at the academy is like, if you want to do a pineapple pizza, it's fine. First, don't open a can. Don't use canned pineapple. If you want to put on, use fresh pineapple.
Yeah.
Better bet is if you can char it and give it some more depth of flavor, so it's just not, I know one of my wife's favorite pizzas is prosciutto and fig with blue cheese.
Yeah.
So what's the difference of putting, a fig puree or pineapple on a pizza?
Yeah.
So certain things have become acceptable and certain haven't.
Okay, I guess too. I'm just wondering, since you talk to Italy with some of this stuff frequently, it's probably a sin out there, though. No.
So when I was younger, I was lucky enough. I got to train with a chef in Italy, who is a very well-known chef, Sergio May, was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm going back 30 years ago. He was known for being one of the first chefs in Italy to use a lot of fruit with his dishes, with duck, with guinea hen, with pheasant, and he got a lot of pushback from a lot of other chefs in Italy, but he really opened up the world, I think, at that time to a whole different look and flavor profile of meats and whatnot. So for me personally, you always take on things. He was such a phenomenal chef and was willing to do this that it's an open your eye. Like if you want to do something, do it. And again, as a chef, and we always talk, we cook to our flavor profile, but also we cook to the masses.
Yeah.
We have to hope that the masses like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like anything in business.
100%.
If they don't, then you have to change or you have to get out of the business. There's no in between.
That's true. And what about all these specialty pizzas I feel like you have going on? Like when we were there, we were eating eggplant pizza. That was my favorite one. You have all these different things I've never even seen over there.
So I think that's where Danny and our team is. Our chef background comes to the pizza toppings. Our chef mentality of how much and how little, because I think that's a fine line. It's one of the things, I guess, that in Chicago drives me a little crazy is pizzas are way over topped. Everybody likes their heavy toppings.
Yeah.
I like quality over quantity. So, but I think anything goes. If you understand flavor profiles, you can marry what belongs together and what doesn't belong together. So I think that's where my chef, and you see some people, which, whatever, but some people, I think the chef name or the chef word is used a little too liberally out there by people that don't. Just because you could throw 5 things on top of a piece of dough doesn't necessarily make you a chef.
Yeah.
I always looked at it, I always held that title, where as a chef, you can run a whole kitchen, right? Managing people, butchering, baking, cooking. There's a whole premise to me to the word chef.
Yeah.
It's not just somebody that cooks.
Yeah, you take it seriously. Yeah, I get you. And I agree with you. I don't like a bunch of toppings on our pizza and stuff like that. I always like minimal ingredients and just good ingredients, and I don't know.
And a cheese pizza will always be number one.
Yeah.
No matter how many things you put on a menu, cheese pizza will always be number one.
Yeah.
it's always good. Or a pepperoni or a sausage. Chicago, the only market in the country that sausage is number one topping on a pizza. The rest of the country is pepperoni.
Yeah.
Which, I think now sausage is growing more and more.
Yeah, me too.
We do sausage classes at this school, and we sell out every time we do a sausage making class.
Yeah.
I think more and more. Yeah, it's we do. So I bring in, Frank Balestri, the sod father. So Frank's known for his soppressata, and Frank does make, hands down, some of the best when it comes to soppressata. But he comes in and he does our sausage making class with us, and it sells out all the time. So people love just learning now the ingredients that are going in. And then you can make your sausage and peppers, or you have sausage for pizza.
What other goals do you have for the academy?
So I always debate, do I want to open up some more small footprint operations around the country? I mean, now we've come back strong from the shutdown. The shutdown definitely threw a wrench into a lot of things.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now the hard thing is as an independent business owner is the cost of construction.
Yeah.
Just the cost of all the hoods, the air conditioning units, the ovens, the this, the that. I mean,
Yeah.
because you got to go into business, right, and say, okay, how long am I going to take to make back my investment?
Yeah, true.
I overspent when I built it 6 years ago. So what would it cost me today to redo it? But we go back and forth. We've been blessed to have people from all over the country come to us for training. So I debate, do I want to open up more units
Yeah.
and take the chance of thinning out what we have here?
Yeah.
Or do I just continue building this unit and then seeing what other opportunity there is out there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody wants me to open up pizzerias, but I opened up a school because I didn't want to get back into the restaurant business.
Yeah, that makes sense. And no, honestly, when you were telling me earlier just about all the costs, like I feel like there's all these hidden costs about opening up a pizza restaurant that I never knew, like the water maker and the different refrigerator. Like, it's crazy. I was just thinking in my head, like, it's got to be expensive if you want to open up a pizza place.
Open up any business, but yeah, restaurant has definitely gotten tougher. And I see a lot of people who put on paper, like, okay, I'm figuring it's going to cost me this much, and they have this much money. And I'm like, all right, now what about operations for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Can you open up the doors and be lucky that your store's packed every day? Sure. But does that happen all the time? No.
Yeah.
So you have to be, and that's where you see a lot of businesses go out of business the first 6 months.
Yeah, they say restaurants are the toughest.
Yeah, it's tough. Just because you go out to dinner 3 or 4 times a week doesn't mean you can open up a restaurant.
Yeah.
When you open up an independent business, there's nobody there telling you what to do, and it's tough. Restaurant business is tough, and I see a lot of operators or people invest into restaurants and then just be like, oh, I'm gonna have a team running.
Yeah. You got to know what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, man, because money goes real fast.
Yeah.
It goes real fast.
No, it definitely does. I agree. But all right, tell me a little bit about this event you got coming up.
So, we've always been big with the fire departments, especially the local fire departments.
It's awesome.
So we had Eric from the Lisle Woodridge Fire Department come in and want to do something to benefit the local fire department. So we're going to do a benefit dinner called Comics and Cannolis. So we're going to have some comedians come in.
Great name.
Chef Joe Sasto from Chicago is coming in. Great guy, great chef. So we're going to do, basically, Joe's going to do a Sunday supper, but on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
We're going to have comedians in there. We're going to, all the
Music.
proceeds are going to get donated.
Oh, that's awesome.
Family style. We decided we're going to do family style because, it's like Sunday supper at home.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. Just from your events too, man. You leave full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Nobody
leave
leaves
full.
hungry. Not our place.
I love it.
No.
All right. Well, if you want to get involved in this event, or if you want to take courses locally here, if you want training, let us know. Where do you go? How do people find you?
So, it's North American Pizza and Culinary Academy, pizzaculinaryacademy.com. We're also on every form of social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We give a lot of recipes. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
With social media. But they can go right onto our website, sign up. So whether you're local Chicago-based or you want to come in from out of town.
Yeah.
If anyone does come in from out of town, any of your followers that are listening to this, they can contact us, and we work with the hotel up the street, and they get a good price for a night if they want to stay overnight out in Lisle.
Okay.
Who doesn't want to stay out in Lisle, Illinois for a night?
Yeah. That's true. All right. No, good. Tell them Hardcore sent you guys. You get a little discount. So, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
No, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Hardcore Italians has been great. It's great working with you guys.
Yeah,
You
no.
got a great organization.
Thank you.
Especially for Italian American community. It's really great when I've told people that I'm doing some work with you guys, and they're like, I just ordered shirts from them. I'm like, good, order
Really?
more. I'm like, yeah, order more. I'm like, and I'm talking all over,
Yeah.
from New York to Florida to
wow.
wherever it is.
Wow.
It's been great. So you guys really, really great organization, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Appreciate
Love
you.
working with you too, Anthony. No, appreciate it, and thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
It was a
thank
pleasure.
you.
You're welcome here anytime. So
Appreciate it.